We have today round table, and round table is our meeting where men can know more information about women and women can get more information about men. So it's not about introducing yourself personally, it's more about knowing other gender better. How it works generally. So I would appreciate if you write some questions in the chat. It will help me to moderate and give some questions to other people. And if you want to, you can answer the question with sound. Some of you sitting with camera on, so it will be amazing if you will be more active. If you don't want to, you can communicate in chat, and this is very important thing. As long you are in chat, you can exchange contact information. So it means it's something like little online party, but it's not online party. So if you see not many people right now in our Zoom call, don't worry, because not all people punctual with time. So some of them will come later, but we are not waiting. We will start our communication. And my first question to you. So my first question, I see two more people who are joining us. Yes, I will add all of them. So last week in our webinars, we had very interesting discussion about place for first date. So it was amazing discussion. And I would like you to tell us your opinion with sound if you want to, or you might write it in chat if you want to, if you feel more comfortable. Your opinion about place for the first date. So there are variants. Don't worry, I prepared everything. So number one, you write number one if you think the right place for first date is to go for a walk in the park, on the street, sightseeing. So it will be number one. So write in chat number one. If you think first date, it should be about walking and talking, walkie-talkie. Write number two. If you think their first date, it should be coffee date. So you go with girls for coffee. You write number three. If you think the first day should be somewhere in the restaurant, yes, it's number three. And number four, if you think it should be a video date. So video date as a first date is okay. So once again, I repeat the question because I'm letting people in, so that's why I'm distracted looking at the list of the people. Okay, so I repeat the question. The question is really very interesting because there are our expectations. Because if most people, as example, most people expect first day should be somewhere in the coffee shop. But if men take girl for walk, so it means she's disappointed because she wanted to drink coffee and she didn't want to go for a walk. Okay, so I see the numbers already in chat, but I repeat the question. The question is very simple. What is the perfect place for you for first date? We are talking about first date. So number one is walking, street, sightseeing, park, museum, maybe, I don't know. Second, coffee date. So we're going for coffee. Third, restaurant as first date. And fourth is video date. Because of COVID, that changed our vocabulary. So one video date became as variant for normal date. Okay, so I see 2 and 3 on TikTok. Hello from England. We're having somebody from England. Okay, good is to eat together and after work. So it's important to know the time of the day. This is explanation. Okay. Please stay mute. Okay, so we see 4. video date. We see 111, so it means to go for a walk. 204, so it means coffee date or video date. Interesting. 1 and 2, so it means walking and coffeeing. 2 coffee date. 3 restaurant. 2 coffee date. Who else? We need more opinion. We need more opinions to know what to do next time for their first date. Hello from Nottingham. So guys in the Zoom, so it's your time. You're welcome to write your contact information in chat because it's our close community. Nobody can see anything what's happening here. So you can write your contact information in chat. You can exchange your contact information in chat because I want you to use this time, this meeting as video date, as opportunity for you to meet more people. 3 more people join us. Девочки, вы сидите некоторые с такими лицами, вы забываете, что даже если вы ничего не говорите, камера-то включена. Так что контролируйте личики. Okay, so I see 3, so it's restaurant. I see 2 and 4, coffee date and video date. Okay, so I repeat because we have some new people and it was a question from me. Because round table is some meeting where we ask questions and answer questions. My question was, how do you imagine your first date? I repeated for last time, last voting, and then we move forward. So first opportunity for first date is to go for a walk. Second, it's coffee date, to go for coffee. 3 is restaurant. And 4 is video date. You know, somebody wrote Russian vodka. So funny, you know, so funny. So stupid. Sorry, it's so stupid. Russian vodka, German beer, most stupid things. Okay, good. 8 more people joining us. What's the number for anywhere? Okay. Uwe is asking what's the number for anywhere. So you can write your own variant for the first date if you want to. Okay, so I see 4 and 2, so it means video date and coffee date. Then I see 2 and 3, so it's coffee date or restaurant. 4 video date and then 2, really interesting, first video date and then coffee date. It's exactly what I'm saying, that most people, even living in the same country, prefer first to meet on video date and then go for coffee. Okay, hello Wesley. We have Wesley from California. Variant 3, 2, it's restaurant, coffee, and if you can't meet, then 4. Cool. Okay, so once again, for all people who are on Zoom now, please stay mute. It's first request. And so you are welcome. You're really welcome to exchange contact information. You can write your contact information in chat. You're welcome to write to people because it's your time, and I really want you to enjoy this time completely. Happy Sunday, everyone. Options 1, 3 sound good. Okay, so in Dubai, one wrote the perfect place for first meeting in Dubai. So I think we all are invited. Boss, we are coming. If you pay for our tickets, we are already on the way. Okay, so usually, and I really want you to be more active, usually the roundtable works in their form that you ask questions to each other. So it means men can write questions for the girls, and I will take this question and ask girls to answer these questions, and girls can write their question in the chat, and I will take these questions and ask men to answer the questions. But very important, in the meantime, you are free, you are welcome to exchange contact information. We are now 50 people in Zoom. 50 people, we started with 15, now we are 50. So please use this time, and please don't turn your microphone on without being asked for. Okay, so write your questions, write your contact information in chat, and I will take your question and ask other people to answer this question. I have, okay, the question from Yana. If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be? Really interesting thing. If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be? For those who are in Zoom now, you have this hand, yellow hand. You can raise it and then you can answer with voice, or you're welcome to just write your answer in chat. I will just read it. In this English version, I'm sorry, I'm not translating. If we have German roundtable, I translate from Russian into German, but not now. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm lazy today. I'm just talking English. Okay, so if you could change one thing in your life, what would it be? Who would like to answer? You're welcome, so just raise your hand. Don't be shy. Nobody can see us, only we are in the chat. Or just write the answer, please. Otherwise it will be boring if everybody is sitting and looking at me. Chris writing, already changed this as I'm on spiritual journey. Interesting. Chris, can you explain what do you mean? Okay, so the question is, if you could change one thing in your life, what would it be? Who wants to answer? Come on, guys. Don't be shy. Okay, Ekaterina.
If I could change one thing in my life, I will break my loneliness, and I would like to have the possibility to find my love, to find my man, to be married, maybe, and this is a very important thing for me, to find a person, a man near me. So I would like to change my loneliness.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Alena.
Hi.
Hi.
If I could change the theme in my life, I maybe change the century. Maybe I choose the next century or the past century, and it would be very interesting to have another acquaintance.
Okay, interesting. So change the time.
Yes.
What would be your perfect time? In what century you would be like to be born?
I think maybe it's 20th century or maybe next century, 22nd century. It's very interesting to see how it will be in the nearest future.
Unfortunately, no one of us will see it. No, but even if one can see it, he or she cannot tell us about, yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so the question is, thank you very much for your answer. The question is, if you can change one thing in your life, what would it be? Okay, maybe somebody from men would like to answer. It's really interesting question. What can you change? What would you like to change? Or if you would like to change something? I read for Peter writes last century, but without war. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so who else wants to? Don't worry. So say something, because it's really interesting to exchange opinion and to train our Zoom skills, because not everybody is talented. Just let new people in. Okay, so the question is, if you can, you're welcome to answer the question in chat if you want to. So if you can change one. Okay, Irina, давайте, спасайте нашу.
I don't like cold. I was born in Lithuania, and I remember being 3 years old, and my mother would be taking me to the preschool, and I was complaining, "Mom, can you buy me warmer boots?" And my mom was like, "I don't think you would ever have warmer boots." I told my mom that I was born in the wrong country. So if I could change that, I would like to be born in the warm country, not in the cold.
Okay. childhood, called childhood.
I know. It just haunts me through my whole life. So
Oh, I remember when I was a child, and we have to go to this Christmas, New Year celebrations, like all Soviet Union children. I was really wrapped in all possible, impossible clothes because I'm from St. Petersburg. It was so cold. It was so freaking.
well, I'm from Lithuania, so I mean, I don't think it was much different. So yeah, I feel for you.
This. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
sweet memories.
Cold memories. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, we discussed the question: if you can change one thing in your life, what would it be? So we would like to change the country of childhood. We would like to change the century, and we would like to change the loneliness. Or I go to the next question: change oneself to be more understanding, less judgmental. Ольга, давайте. Звук.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Nice greetings. I think I would go to the ballet school more earlier. If I could, I have chance.
Okay.
Because yeah, my choice was different when I was a student.
Okay, interesting. Interesting changing of profession. Okay, thank you. Okay, so once again we have new people who join us later. Roundtable is discussion, but at the same time you are welcome to exchange contact information in chat. So those who are in Zoom now, you are welcome to write your contact information, to chat directly. So it's up to you. Яна, тогда вы можете просто звук включить, раз у вас желтой руки нет. Она посередине, желтая рука посередине. Говорите. Она посерединке там есть где-то, в опциях.
Okay, I got. I just asked.
Там и акции, где написано акции, reactions, там желтая рука. Okay, good. Then let's go to the next. Елена writing. I wouldn't change anything, only in the future. Okay. Okay, the question. Really interesting question for everybody. So men, women, who wants to answer? Are women really more emotional in their decisions and men more rational? Or it's just a stereotype? What do you think? It's really interesting thing because many people really pretend being women, so that's why it's allowed to be more emotional and men are more rational. I don't agree. I don't agree with this. I saw so many women who think first and then do, and I saw so many men who just act and then think. So I don't agree. I don't disagree, but I would like to hear your opinion. So the question from Maria: are women really more emotional in their decisions and men more rational? Is it or just stereotype? Ян, давайте. Звук только включить надо.
Can you hear me? Hello to everyone. It's nice to meet all of you, ladies and gentlemen. When I'd like to ask on this question, I do not think that absolutely all women are more emotional and absolutely all men are more rational. I think it depends on a person, first of all, because I'm working with people a lot, every single day. And I've met plenty of men who are so emotional, and I've met a lot of women who are kind of rational in their decisions. So I think it depends on how your brain is working rather on your gender. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Екатерина, your turn.
I can't say about all the women and all the men, but as to me, I'm very emotional, and I think it's a good quality for me in pair or in family or in love, because I can use my emotions to give love, to give warmth, to give special taste of life, I think, very often. And I don't, I think that it's my very, very good quality, and I like it that I'm very emotional in relationships, and I could give my positive emotions to my men in pair.
Okay, thank you. One answer in chat: women tend to be more emotional than men, but this is not everyone, just a tendency. Okay. Okay, the question is about, who is more emotional, who is more rational, men or women. Just, it's really interesting. Okay, Alena.
I think. Hello.
Yeah.
I think we all emotional, men and women, because it's in our nature. Human emotion is our energy, so I don't think it's women more emotional, men more emotional, we equal emotional. But then some people go to the emotional and then explain it rationally, a decision. So I think the emotion is the first.
Okay.
The base of everything.
Interesting. Uwe.
Hello, everybody, first of all. I think it's all about decision making. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. It's all about decision making. And I think, in average, only statistic wise, women make more decisions out of the belly, so means from their feelings, and men more rational, so with arguments. That's at least, my experience on that.
It would be nice if it would be like this.
Not everyone, of course. I just say statistic-wise. So the majority of women make decisions with their belly feelings. They need to feel it, and then they make decisions on it. And men mostly rationally think about pros and cons and stuff like this.
So you want to say that women first act and then try to find explanation why we act like this?
No. No, I'm just saying that the decision to make a reaction comes more out of the feelings. So they say, okay, I feel these shoes are the right ones for me. A man goes in and put them on and they fit, and I buy them. Okay, and then women go like, oh yes, they are so lovely to me. So this is more of feeling orientated decision making than a rational decision making. You know how it is when men go shopping, right? Buying a jeans takes 5 minutes, 10 if there's a free coffee. So that's usually the decision making. And women take a bit more, right? Am I right? You need a bit more time for that. That's fine.
Shopping for women, it's holy. It's sacred. It's don't mention it.
Time stand still. I know.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Dash, your turn.
Yes, hello everyone. Sorry, I joined a little bit late. I can say I agree to almost everyone who expressed their opinion, even though they're kind of different. But of course, I can also only talk about myself. I think I'm too emotional, and that's also an answer to the other question: what would I like to change? I think sometimes it's better to think with your head, and then you would make less mistakes. Even though I agree for love and relationships, it's good to be emotional and you can give more, but at the same time you can get hurt more. So, but in general, I think that women are more emotional than men, the majority. And men approach things more with their head, rational, stuff like this. So it's good to learn how to deal with it and how to come together on this question.
Okay, thank you. Joa, you can answer.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I think obviously it's a massive generalization. I think obviously there are variations even amongst the men. You can have some guys who are perhaps more rational than others, and then it's same with women. But I think for me, in thinking about the question, I am thinking about why do at least stereotypically, some guys are more rational, and stereotypically, some women are more emotional. And I think one of the hormones that we have a little bit more than women is testosterone, which is linked to sort of like dominance kind of behavior. And with that, you tend to sort of like that sort of quick thinking, sort of like action oriented and decision making. So that is part of the answer, I think, that the more hormones you have in your system, the more your behavior aligns to certain aspects. You know, like in terms of decision making, you perhaps a bit more decisive and rational as opposed to emotional. But I think that when we talk about emotional, it's important to differentiate what we mean when we say women are non-emotional, because I think women are more intuitive. Again, it's sort of like part of it is the estrogen as well, where a woman, like most people have said, it's more your feel, it's more intuition, and that is not to say it's less. It's not as valuable as rational decision making. It's just as valuable, and in most instances, you need both to actually get the best results, especially when you're talking about working in organizations and etc. etc. So I think it is different. I think women can train themselves to be more rational if it's not natural. I think some people also, we talk about temperament, we talk about how someone is raised, the culture, the environment. If you're raised in a culture where women are the dominant sex, you know, there are certain cultures where the women are the leaders of the dominant sex, and then you develop that kind of trait where, you know, people like that would be more of the rational ilk. So
Okay.
I think they're different aspects to it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Just Nara, so you down on the bottom left. Yeah.
Hi. So I think okay. So when I work with a lot of women here, and generally I find that the women that are less emotional, they're mentally more healthy, in my opinion. And I just think this. I do think it's a stereotype, really, that women are more emotional, because we expect women to be emotional. When I want something here, it's easy for me to get it if I act emotional. If I'm cold about it, it's more harder. No, it's almost like they want you to behave emotional, and it's accepted. Now, when it comes to men here, I find that when they're emotional, I'm like turned off completely. Even as a person, I'm like, why are you emotional? You should be strong. You shouldn't let no emotions come to your, you know, because I'm not used to it, and I don't know how to handle it when men are emotional. So I guess, as what you said, it's this. I think it's a stereotype. It's just what we expect. Men want to come and save women because they like to be heroes. So there you go. It's easy to see a woman emotional. But like, I think what you said, Joe, about like in the you know, in the fields where men are dominated, they are more rational. It's because there's hardly any woman there. So we're not used to seeing emotions in a very political thing, because more women are not there. I actually personally think women don't want to go in that field anyway. I mean, otherwise, I personally think that. Anyway, I'm going off topic, but I think it's a stereotype.
You know, Sajeli, you mentioned about politics, and I have one comment from Yelena. She wrote, I reckon this is a stereotype as we see more women in politics, a very male-dominated field, and some men are not afraid to show their tears. But, you know, so in our culture, you know, so again, to Soviet Union, what we say to our boys, you are a man, don't cry. I don't know how it is in our countries, but you know, in this Slavic mentality, Eastern European mentality, still, you are a man, you know, little man, you are a man, men don't cry. Okay, so for those who are in Zoom now, because we are on Zoom now, and those who are in, You're welcome to exchange contact information. You can write who you are, where are you from, how old are you, because as soon we finish our meeting and I will click on end the meeting, all chat will disappear. So I motivate you to exchange contact information, to write over you got the comment about your dog. Be careful, you know. What is more important, dog or the girl? I wrote this comment. Okay, so Chris wrote about the question, surely as a couple, it's a joint decision that form a relationship of understanding between two people. Uwe, what do you want to say?
So my dog is very sincere and honest. just to say it, I would never compare him with a woman. So it's a guy.
You know, as a woman, I would ask on this moment, who is more important for you, your dog or me?
These are two different universes. You cannot compare. So,
but
with every try, you know, is a failure already.
Okay, thank you. So we have over with dog, you know, so we have company. I'm reading the chat. Maybe there are some other interesting questions. You know, you're welcome to write questions. You're welcome to exchange contact information. It's up to you. I don't see any questions, guys. Okay. What do you feel most grateful for in your life? I think it's a little bit too serious for our conversation. Maria, stop. No. Very important question. I know the answer, but I will take this question from Richard. How important are looks in relationship? Yeah, it's provoking question. How important are looks in relationship? Okay, so who wants to answer? Somebody is talking. Okay, so if you wanted to say something, please raise the hand. You have this setting in Zoom. Dasha, you were first.
Yeah, so if I understood correctly, the question is how important the appearance is, right?
Yes, looks.
you know my answer, I think. Yeah, I would say it's not so important. Of course, it has to be that you are attracted, but I think for me, at least, if I have the good communication and we have good relationships, then you value something different from the appearance, because with time, appearance can also change, yes, or other things, but it's important to have the love, to have the trust, honesty, understanding for each other. So that would be my answer.
Okay, thank you. Natalia, your turn. You can answer. On the bottom left. Natalia, your microphone is off. On. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Good evening. Yes, for me, is appearance important in that way that I see the person as a complex. His smell, his voice, and for men is important to be well. I don't remember this word in English. Gepflegt auf Deutsch. I don't.
I always forget this word. Something like.
Grown.
It's something like.
Well shaved. Who knows? Yes. So and clean, and in this way for men. For women is perhaps something different, but men should be. Should have this charismatic for me to be attractive. So
the right word is groomed.
Yeah.
Groomed. Richard
well
groomed, yeah. Clean. Men should be clean and washed. Okay.
Yeah, clean, not neat, not smoking.
You know, he can be washed and groomed and smoking. There are different things.
Would be great.
Washed. Okay, Aliona, your turn. Alona, your turn.
Would you guys consider jacking off to be a sport? I don't know about you motherfuckers, but I consider that shit to be a sport, okay? If people can sit back and label goddamn golf, which is the boringest fucking sport in the world, a goddamn sport.
Sorry. I deleted the person. It's so easy. I'm so sorry. Yes. Okay, so Alona, because there was a lot of swearing words. Don't like it. Turn microphone on. Your microphone is off.
Okay.
Опять выключила. Микрофон выключен.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I think on the one hand it's important, on the other hand it's not important, because I remember my experience. All my friends seems to me is very beautiful person, but they are not beautiful, I mean appearance, but it's beautiful in my heart. They are beautiful in my heart because I see them from my heart. So I think it's important. It's a first impression. It's a first impressions, and then it's not important. I mean appearance.
Okay, thank you. For those who joined us right now, so we discussed the question: how important is the appearance? How important is looks for a relationship? Wesley, do you want to answer the question?
Sure. This is Wesley. I'm from San Francisco, California, in USA. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned about clean shaven or groomed about men, because I can't tell you how many times when I've gone to Russia or Ukraine, and I see women who are beautifully dressed with dresses and high heels with makeup and all, and she's with a man who, to be honest with you, she's with a man who looks basically homeless, who is just looks like he just rolled out of bed or something, and not clean shaven and not groomed. So I'm just kind of a little bit surprised by that observation. So
that's why it's expectation to have clean washed and groomed men, just because the local men are not like this. That's why this is.
I understand the different in culture and whatever, but I just like I said, I've seen so many times where the men look like they're practically homeless, but yet he's with a woman who looks like almost like a model. So it's just very interesting, just interesting observation. That's all.
Sometimes you have to check how much money is on his account, and some people with a lot of money they can allow to look like how they want to. It's
everything boils down to a ruble, huh?
No, it's compensation. Thank you for your opinion, Yana. So we discussed the question: how important is appearance, how important is looks for relationship.
Okay, in my humble opinion, I think of course appearance is important, but the most important for me is if we got some kind of why, like reaction on each other. I can be, you can like my appearance, I can like yours, but if we do not have in our communication this special why, our appearance will not make any sense in our long-term perfect relationship. So I think, okay, we can choose someone by his or her appearance. But then we need to go deep and develop what kind of stuff inside you, in your soul, in your mind. And if you got only attractive, beautiful face, model-looking body or stuff like that, and nothing deep inside you, so there is no point to make any kind of relationship. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Peter, your turn.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can.
Can you see me?
No, something is wrong with your camera. We cannot see you.
Yeah, okay. I think the most important or second important thing is appearance or look, because if we are honest, we all are looking for in the partner for ourselves. We are searching for ourselves, and so we also are looking for a partner who looks similar like we are, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nathi, I hope I pronounce your name right.
Yes, it's Natalie. It's actually Natalie, but I just shortened it.
Okay.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Also, if you can see me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think appearance is very important. Most people, when talking about the attributes they want to see in somebody they want to get on with, we talk about other things, profession-wise, good attitude and all of that. But the first thing that draw your eye to discover the other things you talk about is the appearance. You don't really have to look like a model, but just clean up, wear clean clothes, clean teeth. Just look okay, look clean. I think it's very important. Not like a celebrity, but you just have to look clean. For me,
washed. We said washed. Washed. Men should be washed and groomed. It's our task to wash the man. Men should be washed. Thank you. Richard, do you want to answer this question? I think it was your question. Yeah.
I'll go at the end. Let other people go. Thanks.
Do you want to answer your own question?
I'll do it at the end. I prefer to hear what other people think first.
Okay, so then wait, because we have two. Maria. So still the question about appearance and looks.
Yes, I wanted to say that, yes, appearance is important, but sometimes when we say appearance, we mean that standards. When we say look like a model, we forget that models looked different even in 20 years ago, and 100 years ago it also was different. So what I wanted to say, some women can say that appearance is important for her, but it will not absolutely mean that appearance is masculized to man, for example, or something like this. I have friends who, for example, like in men silver hair, and that's absolutely sexy things for them. So appearance is something that we want to see in a person. It can be very different things. So even if you look not exactly like some standards, but even standards are very wide to do, right? It means that you can look very, very different. And I just want to warn men to think that if women say that appearance is important, that means that this appearance is something different than the way it looks. That's what I wanted to say. The only thing I absolutely agree is a well-groomed thing. I think it will be very difficult to find a woman who will disagree with me.
Washed. Do you want to answer this?
Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I think, in my experience, that people who has confidence with themselves, they are fine. They automatically shining. How I can explain that? It's like they're shining better. When you feel not good, you are not good in mood. Then your inner shining is not so fine, and you people not recognize you as like a good looking or whatever person. But when somebody is really fine with himself and feel good and everything, I think then the people also try, well, how I can say, women or men, it doesn't matter, but then they look for other people different. So I think the looking is in this case not this most important, because you can look like how everybody say model, but when you have no shining, it's like stone.
I will tell. Thank you very much for your opinion. I want to tell you one story from my experience. So I'm a matchmaker and I do it for 25 years already. And I remember one time I got a new client. He came to St. Petersburg, went into the office, and I wanted to close my eyes because he looked so ugly, really ugly, like like in the horror films. You cannot imagine that what I am going to do with you. No one woman will like you. And then he started talking. In 5 minutes, I fall in love. And all women who went for dates, first was reaction, oh my God, what is it with your face? How can you exist such an ugly man? But 5 minutes of his speech and women really fell in love. It was, so after it I say appearance really is not so as important. As Sven said, important is how you appeal at people and not the face. Because face we get from our parents, we cannot change it. It's from the nature. Okay, Richard, now you are the last. Answer your question yourself. Surprise us. Surprise. Are you washed? Are you groomed?
I think I'm groomed. I actually think it is important. I think it's particularly important for men because I think men are traditionally, and in my experience, more visual, more driven by visuals. So, but I think it's not about whether you're a supermodel because I don't necessarily even think that people that are supermodels particularly look good. I think it's about if the person. I think that the person you have to be attracted to the person that you're with. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. But for me, I do think it's important for me to choose someone that I'm attracted to. Particularly as a man, I say, because men are visual and, So I find people generally say it's not that important, but for me, I go against that and say that it is important.
No, look, there are some other comments, some new comments. He must be very charismatic person. This is inner happiness. Really interesting. Inner happiness. Appearance improves our confidence. Yes, because inner happiness improves our confidence. It's what Sven said. I think the look is about how somebody values himself. How can somebody value a woman or a partner if he does not value himself? Yeah, agree. Okay, nice. Very nice. Okay, so once again, I motivate all people who are in Zoom now to exchange contact information. Because as soon I finish our meeting, and it will happen at one unlucky moment, in this moment all chat will disappear, so I motivate you to exchange contact information, and of course you're welcome to answer your questions if you have any. If you have any question, because I don't see anything, I see just comments. And how can women make men feel safe in labeling relationship? Quite complicated question. Okay, so if you have any, I have a question. Really, very interesting. I know, so after 25 years in this profession, I have a question to everybody. So the question for girls. If you go for the first date, so this talking about first date. If you go for the first date, would you like to get some present? Flowers, I don't know, gifts, something. Would you like? Yes or no? Just write yes or no. Do you expect it? Will you be happy? Will you be disappointed if you don't get any? So if you go for the first date, real date of course, do you expect any presents? The question for the man, if you go for the first date, would you prepare some present, flowers, souvenirs, book, I don't know, bottle of wine? Would you prepare some present for your date? Yes or no? Okay, girls, if you expect, boys, would you prepare? Would you bring anything for your date? Sven, you can answer if you want to.
Okay. Usually, if you read a little bit about the Russian culture, is that it is usually a must-have. But in general, I like to give one small present, but I think it's better to give it a little bit, a small piece, because usually you want to have time together, and when it's too big, you have to bring it all the time with you.
Correct.
And so a little small present, like here in Germany, gives some small flowers, single flowers, only the head. They hold for 2 years. I think something like this would be a nice present for the first time.
Okay, thank you. Uwe, you were next. What is your attitude? What is your opinion about presents? Must have.
First of all, I should be the surprise, the master surprise. But of course,
Then you have to wrap yourself.
Yes, of course. Big wrapped in red. But yes, of course. Never come empty-handed and with an empty brain. Yes, and one thing beside of it, Richard, you're smiling. Thank you for the British accent in between, because of this American interruption we have. You just cured everything with the British one. Thank you for that.
Okay. So Uwe is present himself. He doesn't need any presents. He's
plus flowers, of course. Plus flowers.
Okay, so it was the main point.
But the biggest surprise should be me.
So in the Spawn films, I will show you some surprise that has other opinion. Okay, then Natalia was the next. So are you expecting presents, or do you want to get some presents?
So I think it's not necessary, because if we don't like each other at the first date, it would be not nice to get something expensive or to feel somehow obligated to continue with this person or something. Is not that. I agree with somebody who told this already. But flowers, it's very nice for women. Anyhow, it's not too much, I think. That's just my opinion. And I would like to bring to the man something what is exactly good for his hobbies, for example. If he plays chess, or we can play chess, so I could bring some small things about this, or I can make chocolate from the chess. This way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then Alyona was the next.
I have no expectation about gift, but in Russia, man always brings a bunch of flowers. And my last date was when the man brings a box of nice candies, and it was very unexpected for me. And man says, it's better than flowers, because it's tasty. So it was pleasure, but I had no expectation about gifts at all. Only I will expect to have a nice time together, seeing each other and speak with each other. That's all.
Then Uwe is your perfect match for today, because he is present himself. Take him, Uwe. Matched. Okay. Thank you, Ruslana.
I would say it depends on case. For example, when we met before at university, at work, at conference, so we saw already each other, and just first time we come to the date, to the romantic date. So in this case, maybe some flowers or some chocolate would be appropriate. But in case if we never met before, so I would say it's not that I wouldn't expect, I wouldn't like even to get anything. I feel it's not appropriate in this case.
Okay, thank you. Dasha?
Yes, thank you. So I think that for me, of course, for every woman, it's pleasurable to get something like flowers or candies, a small present. But at the same time, I would say, yes, if you don't like the person, then you would not have that much good feeling about it, maybe. So for me, I would say the best way is to have some video calls before and kind of have a feeling if you like each other, at least this way, and you go on a first date. And if he brings a present, that's awesome, that's cool. If not, it's also not a problem. And especially if it's the first date in a restaurant or cafe, then it's especially not a problem because it is also kind of like a small present or treatment for a woman.
Thank you. Joy?
I think it depends on the context. Honestly, for myself, the most recent date that I went to, we met at a mall. So I'm in the UK and in England, and we met at a mall. And while I was there, I was there first, and then I decided to get to my Krispy Kreme, which is something that we had spoken about. So it's having, a date that was set up after you had a previous conversation. So for me, I tend to just pick something from the conversation we've had, and something that's not too much. So in this case, it was a Krispy Kreme which she loved, and she really liked it, and she had it, and then we did bowling and different things. So I would say from a guy perspective, it's best to take something, but it's something thoughtful and something small, something. I have taken flowers here and then, but it depends on how much emotional connection that I have with the girl before the date. That would determine whether I take flowers or not. But so usually I just take something that is not too much.
Okay. I'll tell one story about flowers as soon you all answer the question. Елена?
Yeah?
Да.
Hello. Yeah, it's nice if a man thought of me and looked for something nice what I like. Small present, but for me.
So you want to say that it's better something small but personal instead of something big but not personal for you? Okay, thank you. Jasnara?
Hi. So on our first date, it's always very good if the guy pays. And now, if he doesn't have enough money, he doesn't have to take it to a very expensive place. But he can be like, he can cook for her. Do you know what I mean? He can be creative about it. But I do like flowers, so it's that's a nice distance. Flowers are so not expensive, so So I think in your culture, like I don't know where you have expectations, but in UK. A lot of people don't have any expectation, because I was reading stuff here and people say, oh, if it's nice then you can give it to me. I'm like thinking, well, that's why guys don't do anything, because you don't expect anything from them. So I think they will make more effort if you did expect a little bit more. When you keep the standards low, they will be low. A lot of men actually need. This one guy told me that guys are like dogs. You have to train them. I mean, that sounds horrible, but he said that to me. And I was looking at him like, do you want me to train you? Go to your mother. She can train me. I'm not training you. But yes, so I like a little rose, flowers. It's cute. It's really nice, but sense of humor is always the best. A guy with sense of humor, and it's always, and a generous spirit is always the best. Every guy who's generous is always going to get score points. With every woman, I think. But yeah, my opinion.
We learned so many things about men today, tonight. Men should be washed, and men should be trained like dogs.
He told me, I didn't say that, but he said that to me. And I'm like, do you want me to train you like a dog? Because it's not my job to train you. Your mother should have trained you well to be a guy, to grow up well. So yeah.
Go to the dog school. Oh my God, thank you. Елена, которая СТ.
Hi, do you see my picture?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So I wanted to say that I don't expect flowers or presents. I expect the day to be organized. So if we agree about place where we both feel comfortable in advance, and the man comes, and I see that he's smiling and he took care of his appearance. Let's say he put on his, not necessarily suit, but something nice, maybe a nice jacket which
he wanted to wear to impress me in a positive way. I think that would be enough. About flowers, I would say it's nice, but they require attention. So if you go to a restaurant, you can ask waiter to bring a vase and put flowers on your table, and they will be there, and they will improve the whole atmosphere. It would be atmosphere of like a celebration or something nice. But if you go for a walk, it would be difficult to carry them around. So it all depends. I guess that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maria?
Okay, hello everybody. I expect attention and some pleasant surprise might be. This might be not things, it might be interesting place, for example. As for the flowers, I must say before the first date, I don't like red flowers, for example. Let the flowers be for the second date.
Окей, interesting. Мария, у нас две Марии просто отвечали. Извините, одна другую перехватила. Ага.
Sorry.
It's okay. So what I wanted to say one story. I was on a date. It was 20 years ago, and it was in Belgium. Not in Belgium, in Germany, but the guy was from Belgium, and he came with a box of Belgian chocolate. And it didn't work, not because of me or something, but 20 years later, I still remember that guy with that Belgian chocolate, and I surely absolutely not expect it. I do not expect anything when I go for a date. But if it will happen, if I will get a nice present, I will be impressed, I would say like that. But I want to give an advice for a man. If you want to come with a present or pay for a dinner on the first date, and you consider it as something you give and you want something back for it, you can be disappointed, because the meaning of gift, of present, is something that you give and you are not waiting for something back. So if you feel uncomfortable with giving something to other person just from your heart, just for thankful for her that she took like 3 hours to become beautiful and come to that date. Yes, just to show that you respect her efforts to be not just groomed, but always wonderful smelling, yes, nice girl with all that hair, just as thank you for their efforts. Yes, if you're ready to give her present, flowers or something for that, then do it. If you will be in a mood like I gave you chocolate or flowers, so now you ought to like me and you have no other choice, then better don't do it, because that's probably that you will be disappointed with what will happen. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I want to tell story, because I have this power to tell my stories. It was before COVID, and one of my clients went to Kiev. He was, I would say, about 20 years older than his date. So he was, and he said, I know what to do. I've been to Ukraine so many times. I know you don't have to tell me what to do with women. For me, it's always dangerous if somebody says, don't tell me what to do, because in most cases, I have to say something. Okay, he went for the date, young, beautiful girl, like model, very slim, very young, very fresh, very washed. And he came with huge amount of flowers. It was really big bunch of flowers. And it was late, it was really late, it was dark. She has these flowers in one hand, she has her big bag in the other hand, she has high heels in the it's all together. Women understand flowers, back, heels, the man somewhere, and in the end, he sent you home with underground. Just imagine, late in the night, very young girl, flowers, back, heels, all together and underground. And she said in the end, that's all. Because if flowers, back, heels, it should be taxi. At least ask her if it's okay. But all this, it's complicated. Believe me, we all have this experience. Back, flowers, heels, and underground. Okay, so what we have about 25 minutes left. Those who are in Zoom, you are welcome to write your contact information, to exchange contact information, because as soon we finish, it's finished, and I don't record anything, I don't save anything. So please write your contact information, write down contact information of other people. Maybe just take a piece of paper and write the numbers of people you liked, because it's your time. And if you have any questions I think I like this discussion about presents, it's interesting. Good to send flowers via mail courier, but it's not personal. But so with mail, I have another story. It happened last week. He sent flowers per mail, but on the way, it was because it took a couple of days, flowers died. Really, so the woman opened the box, saw these dry flowers already, but she said it was very nice vase. The vase was nice, but not the flowers. Okay, so any questions you would like to discuss? Harold wrote, bringing the present gives the first chance to surprise the lady and turn the moment of meeting to be well remembered. It's not necessary to be remembered if the day didn't go into the right direction anyway. Ruslan, I like your point of view. So we don't want to remember if the day wasn't successful. Yes. Okay, Richard. I know the answer, but we take the question from Richard. Men, women can answer. Should the man allows pay for the first date? So it means man pays. Of course, man pays.
Sorry, I meant always. Should the man always pay for the first date?
Of course.
Even if the woman offers or insists.
Okay, so let's discuss always. Should the man always pay for the first coffee restaurant for the first day? Okay, I know the answer, but how dare you asking? Okay, Wesley. Say your opinion.
That's really a no-brainer. I'm surprised you're even asking that question. Of course, a man should pay for the first date. I don't understand why you're even asking the question. I think it's just in every single culture that there is, regardless of what country you're living in. On the first date, the man should always pay, period. No further discussion.
So the reason I'm asking is because I've spoken to women, and I know a dating coach in the UK that says it's not the case anymore.
It's not. Sometimes it's not the case in Germany anymore as well, because German women, they would like to be independent, and something like let him pay for coffee to eat is something like I own him something. It's just bullshit.
Well, it's not mandatory, but it's the courteous and respectful thing to do. So just like when the previous question asking about bringing flowers or something, it's just a courteous thing to do. That's all. Regardless of whether the woman wants to pay or not, it's just a courteous, respectful thing to do. That's all.
So if you go on a date, Wes, and she insists that she wants to pay, will you let her pay?
Absolutely not.
Even if she insists, she's like, you don't pay, I'm going to pay. What happens if she wants to pay for herself, but not you?
I've never encountered that situation before. If she wants to, slap me in the face or something, then that's fine. but I have never encountered. In fact, just last week, there was in San Francisco. There was the opening night of the symphony. There was a big gala. On the first date, I took a woman to the event, and I spent $1,200 on the first date. Whether the relationship works out or not, that's irrelevant. But it's just something that I enjoy doing.
We have opinion. Another wrote, I will usually pay part. Sometimes I take care of the drinks. Okay, so can you explain your attitude?
Sorry, is that me? Sorry.
Yeah. It was your comment.
Yes, please. Yeah, it depends. If I choose the place, and sometimes you go out with a guy, and if you, the lady, choose the place and he gets the place, it happen to be expensive in quote or too much for him, you could read it from his face. You can see. So yes, if he doesn't look very okay with the bill, he just pay part of it. Or I do drinks sometimes. Like I will pay for the drinks and he pay for the food. Yeah, it's not a big deal for me. But if he chose the place, of course he knows how much it will cost. He would have an idea, so I wouldn't really made an effort.
So that's why my recommendation first go for coffee, where it's not a big deal to pay.
Yeah, if it's a restaurant, when you're doing like food and drinks, I could pay part. I could pay for the drink, and then he take care of the food.
Yeah, because do you live in the UK?
Yes.
Yeah, because if it's UK, it can be really very expensive. And sometimes there are no prices on the menu. You get the bill in the end, and you're quite
exactly the point.
Okay, so but so if normal restaurant, the prices, you know what expecting. Okay, so thank you, because it's really interesting thing in some British restaurants there are no prices on the menu, so you just. Surprise! You have cells to your kidney. Okay, Yana. So the question is about who pays on the first date.
Well, I think the man should pay for the first date, of course. If we are going to a restaurant or to even a cafe, but the very important thing is that a woman should always have her own money for the food she had. In case her boyfriend or the man she is meeting him the first time is kind of an asshole and would not like to pay for her meal, she always needs to have her own money to pay just for herself. That's my kind of rule for my life. Thank you.
Absolutely. Pay your bill and disappear and escape out of the restaurant. Okay, next was Ruslana.
Yes, да? So I would say if the first day I insist to pay, so it means that I do not consider the option of second day. And in this case, I will pay myself, and doesn't matter how man likes it or like that. In case if I consider second day, so then I can think about it. Oh, I'm going to pay, I'm going to pay. But if I pay myself, so it means we will never meet again. I mean, it's my rule. Okay, if I don't like the man, then I pay myself.
Really interesting. So it means read the hint.
Yeah.
If she pays, you are out.
If I insist to pay, yes, so especially.
Okay, thank you. Natalia?
So I agree with Ruslana. I think there's opinion most of Slavic women and Slavic men knows this very well. Ukrainian or Russian or Baltic countries, they know what to do with the Russian woman, but in the meantime, I noticed that German men, for example, at the date, they recognize this feministic or this way to to be independent of women, it destroys all relationships in our society. That women would like to be very independent and pay 50-50 and so on. This is no good for relationship. So, and in my case, my men or my ex-men paid all dates, not just first date. So this is normal and our rules. So this is my opinion in this case.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Joy, who pays for the first date?
Hi. I think for me, I think it starts from before you get to the date. In my approach to a woman, it's very clear the sort of type of role that I want to play within the relationship. So even when I'm setting up a date, I made it very clear that I would like to take her out and I would like to pay for the date. So there is that understanding there, because this is the type of date experience that I would like to have. So if the issue comes up, we can talk about it then. So usually I always pay. And the example of the most recent date that I went to, that I said we went to the mall. So I paid for the bowling that we did, and then I paid for the meal. But then the date went further, and then we wanted to watch a movie, and then she paid for the movie. So again, it's not to say that I have to always pay. It's about being a gentleman where this is the role that I pay. But if she wants to do something towards the date, I'm okay with it as well. I'm not going to put up a fight and say you're not allowed to pay. It's not like that. It's just about respect and for her to know that I'm willing to foot the bill when we go out.
Okay, thank you. Uwe?
If a woman insists on the first date to pay, I always have a standard answer, and this answer is good luck trying. That's all I say, because there is no chance. You can do whatever you want. There is no chance. There is no chance for a woman to pay on the first date. This is a man's task. I'm sorry, guys.
Agree.
Yes, sharing bills. What I know what they do in Germany. I am German. And I'm always laughing about it. These monkeys. Sorry to say, but no, there is no payment for a woman on first date. Not even the taxi home. So that's a gentleman's task.
We have to learn, good luck trying.
Yes, I am always prepared for this. This sometimes really happened, and then I have a deal with the waiters, and then I just, go there and try. Good luck.
I like your answer. I think everybody does. You have to teach men how to do it. Right behavior. Okay, so boys and girls, I give you 5 minutes to exchange contact information in chat. You can continue doing it. I saw that some of you wrote your contact information, but some doesn't. Please do it. Otherwise, you will lose connection. And to be honest, as soon we finish, I will forget who was in and who answered and what was discussion about. My brain is full of all this information. Write your contacts and take a piece of paper, write down their contacts, then you can stay in touch after we finish our meeting. Okay, so the question from Peter, what shall a man do if the woman wants to pay by herself? Like Uwe said already, if you do it and not try to understand it, was the answer of Natalia. And Yelena wrote, if you want to date this woman, then repeat that you want to pay. If she keeps insisting, let her, of course. Okay, Yelena, you want to say your opinion about this?
Me?
Yeah, because you're.
Well, no, actually, raised hand before you answered this question. I wanted to say that I'm not on the line, but I managed to put my picture next to my name, and I think that I would speak for myself. It helps to connect the name to the face, and it's easier. So I suggest that others do it as well. It's fairly easy, even if you don't want to appear online. Just putting a picture will be helpful because I'm very visual. So for me, seeing a face even in the pictures is very helpful. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so guys, write your contact information. Thank you. Thank you for thank you. It's so nice that you write your opinion about it because I really think it's very important to exchange such things because most of all girls come to me with all these questions and boys come to me with all these questions and I have to answer this question. What's sometimes obvious, like who pays on the first date. For me it's no discussion. I'm on the team Uwe. No discussion.
For me, there's no discussion either.
Okay, so Wesley is in our team as well. Who is in our team? Raise your hand. Team Uwe. But it's really interesting because I heard this opinion from my German clients. I think they go to the date with German girls and they really insist in this discussion that destroys all this mood on the date. Who pays? Of course, man, relax and let him pay. It's very simple. Very simple. That's why this Slavic mentality.